If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'd be.
Mr. Wilson would've known.
Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me.
So good to me.
Yeah. Wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yahweh's been good to me.
So good to me.
Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me cause I'm on a mission. Talking sheep, I pay the cost, me and my lines really live it. I don't need no glory, you don't have to know my story. Glad I made it out this world cause this world was never for me. I thought that I was If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'd be.
Mr. Wilson would've known.
Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me.
So good to me.
Yeah. Wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yahweh's been good to me.
So good to me.
Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me cause I'm on a mission. Talking sheep, I pay the cost, me and my lines really live it. I don't need no glory, you don't have to know my story. Glad I made it out this world cause this world was never for me. I thought that I was. If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'd be.
Mr. Wilson would've known.
Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me.
So good to me.
Yeah. Wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yahweh's been good to me.
So good to me.
Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me cause I'm on a mission. Talking sheep, I pay the cost, me and my lines really live it. I don't need no glory, you don't have to know my story. Glad I made it out this world cause this world was never for me. I thought that I was. If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'd be.
Mr. Wilson would've known.
Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me.
So good to me.
Yeah. Wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yahweh's been good to me.
So good to me.
Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me cause I'm on a mission. Talking sheep, I pay the cost, me and my lines really live it. I don't need no glory, you don't have to know my story. Glad I made it out this world cause this world was never for me. I thought that I was. If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'd be.
Mr. Wilson would've known.
Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me.
So good to me.
Yeah. Wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yahweh's been good to me.
So good to me.
Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me cause I'm on a mission. Talking sheep, I pay the cost, me and my lines really live it. I don't need no glory, you don't have to know my story. Glad I made it out this world cause this world was never for me. I thought that I was. If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'd be.
Mr. Wilson would've known.
Can't nobody tell me.
Shalom, shalom, Israel. Welcome back to Stick to the Script. I'm Shamaria, and to my right,
Shahad Aman.
we give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High. Tonight, it's been in conversation. I've heard the wilderness get referenced so many times recently in conversations. The behaviors and the spirits that we see amongst Israel take you back to the wilderness. And it's almost like you don't even have to be there during these times to get a glimpse as to the duty, the complication, and the frustration that Moses must have felt dealing with the children of Israel, but also for those that were in the wilderness watching the other children of Israel just have all of these things going on amongst our community. So I wanted to talk about that today. Let's start off with Leviticus chapter 25 and verse 55.
This is Leviticus 25 and verse 55. For unto me the children of Israel are servants. They are my servants whom I brought forth of the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God.
So he said the children of Israel are servants. That's our purpose. Let's go to Exodus 9:1. That's why we've been created, right? Being chosen isn't just, oh, we're royalty, I'm special, I'm above everybody else, I deserve all these things to be given. That's all contingent upon our relationship with the Most High. And we feel that every day, right? Because we're in captivity. Because the same way that you would punish a bad servant, or you would not give the same luxuries to a bad servant, because you might go to a restaurant, right? That's your servant. That's who you got. But if they give you crappy service, you're not going to tip. You're way less inclined. You're way less inclined to want to reward that person, right? Because they're not giving you good service. That's the same predicament that we're in today in the land of our captivity because of our bad service. 9:1, Exodus.
Then the Lord said unto Moses, Go in unto Pharaoh, and tell him, Thus saith the Lord God of the Hebrews, Let my people go, that they may serve me.
So that was the whole point. It wasn't let my people go, I'm going to make them celebrities, I'm going to make them super rich and famous, I'm going to give them... that's what the Most High has given us when we were righteous. We did have a luxurious lifestyle that was far beyond what most of us can even imagine now because of the severity of the captivity we experience. And it's not like just, working hard, making brick like our forefathers and foremothers did. We're in a captivity where we're under oppression of a people that hate our guts, of a people that despise us deeply, right? That want every bit of destruction to come our way and want to be utilized in that destruction. But the reality was when we were in Egypt, when we moaned and groaned and called out and prayed to the Most High said, okay, go ahead. And he used Moses as a savior of the people and said, tell Pharaoh to let my people go so that they can serve. Let's go over to Exodus 12. I think we all know about the plagues, right? We know about the plagues, and that tends to be the focus a lot of times when we think about, Egypt and, our deliverance. But that really was just the tip of the iceberg. The Most High stepped in and performed incredible things, miracles, on behalf of the children of Israel. And I just learned yesterday, I lost a bet at that, we didn't even experience the plagues. I've always read, and I think it's in maybe chapter 8, 9, or 10, it's in somewhere in there of Exodus, where by the time they got to, I believe it was boils, or it was either the boils or it was hail. And then it specifies the children of Israel weren't affected. And so I was like, must be where it started. But then we read back and we looked and we was like, there was really nowhere that said the children of Israel were affected by any plague. We weren't subject to those things. That was judgments put upon Egypt. So that was the level of divine intervention that our people experienced, right? Imagine in today's time, you are in your neighborhood, or maybe even one of the only law-abiding Israelites in your city, and the Most High smites all of America with a plague to have bloody water or undrinkable water. And your neighbor to your left, to your right, across the street, behind your house, they all have brown, stinky, extra thick, viscous water that's undrinkable and unusable. And in your house, you turn on your faucet, your shower, whatever, and it's perfectly fine. That's what our forefathers were experiencing. You had the Egyptians, not only was the water in their river turned to blood, I believe it specifies that even in the pots, the water that was already away from everything, there was no clean water for them. They was cooked. They didn't have any type of alternatives. That was it. So the Most High sent all these various different plagues, and he showed his power in Egypt, not only to the Egyptians, but it wasn't really about the Egyptians. He showed it to the children of Israel, right? We had been disconnected even at this point. Our forefather Jacob and 70 souls walked into Egypt. Fast forward about 430 years, we're getting ready to leave Egypt, and we've been delivered through these great and wonderful plagues. Exodus 12, let's start off at 35. We're going to read 35 and 36.
This is Exodus chapter 12 and verse 35. And the children of Israel did according to the word of Moses. And they borrowed from the Egyptians jewels of silver and jewels of gold and raiment. And the Lord gave the people favor in sight of the Egyptians, so that they lent unto them such things as they required. And they spoiled the Egyptians.
And that's the part that we love. That's the part that we look forward to. That's the part that people can't wait to get. But we kind of missed those first two verses where he says, the children of Israel are my servants. Let my people go that they may serve me. That was our occupation. We didn't have to be concerned about paying rent, paying bills. We would have had land, livestock. Even if you were poor, you would have had probably a humble shack, but a humble shack on your land. You might have had only a few chickens on your land, maybe only one goat on your land. So you would have had, whether you had to use them sparingly or not, you would have had actual resources, actual assets to your name, to your family, with opportunity to go out and cultivate community, finance, and business as you see fit amongst your people, as long as it was righteous. That's something that's lost on a lot of our people, because look where we are now. Most of us don't own land. If you own a house, you really don't own it. Because even if you pay that house off, you're still paying property taxes. You're still subject to payments. And they can define and smack on as many payments as they decide to. But even after our people were delivered, what was their mentality, right? What was their mindset at that point? And then he tells us why he delivered us. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 8 and verse 2.
And thou shalt remember all the way which the Lord thy God led thee these 40 years in the wilderness, to humble thee and to prove thee, to know what was in thine heart, whether thou wouldest keep his commandments or not.
So that was the whole thing. The Most High freed us from captivity, but it was still a test. Let me see what you guys are going to do. And better yet, before we even got to that point, we had every opportunity to go back into our land. That wasn't even the initial plan. The Most High didn't bring us out of captivity just to make us wander in the wilderness and kill everybody off up until we rebelled, right? We serve a merciful God. We serve a loving God, a kind God. Even in the midst of all of this, with the fact that we can't really even do anything for him, he continues to dig deep within himself and allow mercies to be renewed daily. I mean, that's an incomparable love and compassion. And he said, look, if you want all these nice things that exist upon your plane of existence in the world that you're in, he said, no problem, just be obedient. I don't mind. I don't mind allowing you to have nice things. We don't have to be in these downtrodden and disadvantaged situations if we're righteous. And as long as we're righteous, the sky's the limit. The Most High wants to give us everything that we can receive here on this earth, and he has a kingdom promise to us. It's really just a win-win. But what do we do? What did our people do? And what do we continue to do? Let's go to Numbers. So let's talk about the experience of actually being in that wilderness. We're not going to be here all night. We don't have to go to every single story. There's quite a bit of history in Exodus, in Numbers, in Deuteronomy. But I do want to highlight some of the more prominent stories in certain situations that we read about. Numbers 13, we're going to start at 16 through 33.
This is Numbers chapter 13 and verse 16.
Mm-hmm.
These are the names of the men which Moses sent to spy out the land.
Uh-huh.
And Moses called O'Shea, the son of Nun, Joshua.
Mm-hmm.
And Moses sent them to spy out the land of Canaan, and said unto them, Get you up this way southward, and go up into the mountain, and see the land, what it is, and the people that dwelleth therein, whether they be strong or weak, few or many. And what the land is that they dwell in, whether it be good or bad, and the cities and what cities they be that they dwell in, whether in tents or in strongholds.
Uh-huh.
And what the land is, whether it be fat or lean, whether there be wood therein or not. And be of good courage, and bring of the fruit of the land. Now the time was the time of the first ripe grapes.
So there's obviously a spiritual component and a physical component to the wars that we fought, to the battles that we experienced, to our lives, right? There's a mixture of spirit and flesh. So the Most High delivered us with plagues, but the plan was you guys are going to walk into your land and you're going to fight a war to cleanse the land and take it back from the people that are inhabiting your home. But the Lord was with us and gave us the guarantee the battle is already won. You don't have to be concerned about, being wiped out. You don't have to be concerned about what happens if we don't win. We left out of the captivity of Egypt. We don't have a home to go to. It was already set in stone. You guys are going to win. I'm going to be with you. So Moses, now they just doing their part, right? Sending the people into the land. He said whether it be good or bad, but we already know it was good land. He said it's a land that flows with milk and honey. It's abundant in resources. But more importantly, it's near and dear to the Most High's heart, and that's why he wants his people there. Go ahead. 21.
Verse 21, So they went up and searched the land from the wilderness of Zin unto Rahab, as men come to Hamath.
Can we let's drop down to verse 25.
And they returned from searching of the land after 40 days. And they went and came to Moses and to Aaron and to all the congregation of the children of Israel unto the wilderness of Parnah to Kadesh, and brought back word unto them and unto all the congregation, and showed them the fruit of the land.
Go ahead.
And they told him and said, We came unto the land whither thou sentest, and surely it floweth with milk and honey, and this is the fruit of it.
So it was such an abundant land. They took a cluster of grapes and they had to put a pole on two men's shoulders and carry that cluster, sharing the weight between the two of us. That's how abundant this land was, right? And when they came out, they was like, yeah, what the Most High promised, what you told us from the Lord, it is absolutely that. It is a land that flows with milk and honey. And he was like, you just see for yourself. They coming and they showing all the people, right? Go ahead.
Nevertheless, the people be strong that dwell in the land, and the cities are walled and very great. And moreover, we saw the children of Anak there. And Amalek, the Amalekites dwell in the land of the south, and the Hittites and the Jebusites and the Amorites dwell in the mountains, and the Canaanites dwell by the sea and by the coast of Jordan. And Caleb's...
Oh, actually, Salakia. So even though they saw that the land was really good, as they're going through and they're seeing the fruit and they're seeing the beautiful things, they're starting to fear the people that are there, right? the doubt's getting in. And they say, a boat doesn't sink unless the water gets in. So when he sees that this is happening, what does Caleb do?
Verse 30, and Caleb stilled the people before Moses and said, let us go up at once and possess it, for we are well able to overcome it.
So Caleb was in the right frame of mind. He like, hold on, everybody calm down. I get it, right? We see that there's some giants. We know that there's going to be obstacles. And what can you do in life that you are not going to have an obstacle? If you decide you're going to get in shape, you're going to have discomfort. You're going to have obstacles. You're going to have to overcome. If you decide to do any level of discipline, but how much more a war? How much more restoring a dynasty? How much more restoring a legacy? How much more taking an entire country? Yeah, there's obstacles. But we serving the same God that just turned off the sun.
Right.
We serving the same God that just commanded millions, maybe even billions of bugs to go up into the Egyptians and didn't come into our houses. We serve the same God that just made it rain meteors, but only in specific spots. We serve the same God that turned water into blood and only in certain places. We serve the same God that parted a sea, an entire ocean, and it was miles that they walked across on dry land. It wasn't moggy, muddy, quicksand type of water. The children of Israel were loaded coming out of Egypt, from livestock to gold and silver and jewels, whatever else it was that they already owned, and were able to walk on a dry road where an ocean just was moments before. That the Most High was already showing how much he could do. And yet and still, there was so much doubt and so much fear. And what it really boils down to was a disconnect in the Most High, in the faith in the Most High's abilities. Because it wasn't about us. And that's the reality. It's easy to get caught up in self, but it's not about us. This war wasn't about what you could see on paper. Okay, there's 600,000 of us. Oh, but there's 1.8 million of them. Oh, this is a losing battle. It was like, well, we have the Most High. And through that, anything is possible. The sky's the limit. And even then, I shouldn't even say that. There is no limit. It's limitless. What's possible when we're righteous and the Most High is with us? But they started to become fearful, and Caleb realized it. So he's trying to calm the people down like, hey, before all of that stuff starts to spread amongst you and y'all get time to be in your heads, let's go now. We've already left Egypt. We've already seen these incredible plagues. We're at the edge of our land. Let's just go. But what happened?
Verse 31, But the men that went up with him said, we be not able to go up against the people, for they are stronger than we.
And then what did they do?
And they brought up an evil report of the land, which they had searched unto the children of Israel, saying, the land, though which we have gone to search it, is a land that eateth up the inhabitants thereof. And all the people that we saw in it are men of great stature.
So first off, now they lying. That's what that is. They're so afraid and they've allowed themselves to be so overcome that they start lying to the people. They just said it's a land that flows with milk and honey, and you see how much it flows in abundant resources. But now they're saying it's a land that eats up the inhabitants. When you hear that, think of harsh conditions, right? Alaskan winters, Sahara Desert summers, erosion, corrosion, right? It's like, man, if we do go up into this land, it's going to be extremely difficult to live. And that's not even the case.
Right.
But look at what they're telling the people, because the fear has entered into them so heavy. They're like, look, we're better off if we just stay here. They were already so destroyed in their mind by Egypt, even with all the incredible things that they had seen. And the fact that we walked out with a pillar of fire guiding us, there was still an overwhelming amount of doubt. Go ahead.
Verse 33. And there we saw the giants, the son of Anak, which come of the giants, And we were in our own sight as grasshoppers, and so we were in their sight.
It's like, we're too small, we're too this, we're too that. There's all these different things. These are the different reasons, but it's like, but we just saw how the Most High did that. And mind you, the Pharaoh that was in power at that time, he looked out into the children of Israel and said, the people be more and mightier than we. If it was really about hand-to-hand combat and just what man can see, then the Most High would have said, turn and smite the Egyptians. Wipe out this entire country. You guys are going to do it, but, I'll be there to some extent. It wasn't even a war like that. There was no conventional warfare in Egypt. Everything was divine intervention. Even to the chariots that pursued, the Most High didn't say, Moses, turn and get the men of war, put them in the front, smite ye the... He said, no, I'll just close the water on them. Y'all walk out in peace. Remember, you're going to serve the Lord. Don't worry about it. Your life begins today. Everything that you've ever experienced, all that hard work, all that hard bondage, all that captivity, all that slavery, all that hopelessness, it ends today. And your freedom lies on the other side of this ocean, this sea. And all you got to do is walk. And that's after you spoiled the Egyptians. Spoil means to rob. People were so ready to get Israel out of their land. They were letting them in their homes. Take what you want, just leave. Imagine they got some big old cluster of gold he dug up months ago. It's been in his family 30 years. Israelite wants it. He like, man, I'm not leaving. Man, just take it. Just leave. Whatever you, just take it. That's where the Egyptians were. Yet, after seeing all those things that our God has done for us, they started to bring up an evil a report. And then look what happened, because they influenced the people. Let's chapter 14. Let's start at verse 1.
And all the congregation lifted up their voice and cried, and the people wept that night.
So they succeeded. The people wept that night because they didn't keep moving. Oh, I'm hearing that it's giants. I'm hearing the Amalek, the Amalekites and the Jebusites. So now they're stuck in place with that fear, and they're not willing to move. And they're weeping all the night because now they don't know what's going to happen with them and their children. Just off the report of how many was it? It was 12 men, right? One from each tribe. Mm-hmm. Just off not even 12 men, 11 men, because Caleb gave a good report. Now you've got 600,000 people stressed, scared, frustrated, right? Discouraged. Go ahead.
Verse 2. And all the children of Israel murmured against Moses and against Aaron. And the whole congregation said unto them, would God that we had died in the land of Egypt, or would God we had died in this wilderness? And wherefore hath the Lord brought us unto this land to fall by the sword, that our wives and our children should be prey? Mm-hmm. Whether it not better for us to return into Egypt?
So now they have an evil suspicion against the Most High. What? The Lord wants us to die out here? Because of the report that they heard from 11 men, now they don't even believe that all the plagues are basically null and void to them. All the miracles are null and void. Even the Red Sea parting is null and void in their eyes because they heard this evil report. In so much that they're saying, man, maybe it was better for us to be back in captivity. Maybe, I don't know, maybe this wasn't the right choice. And they're so scared, they're saying, even though, let me see, we just worked for the Egyptians, 80 years of bondage. That's at least, 3 generations? I think a generation is like every 25 years. We see that they had the power to kill, because they were, right? Moses saved a brother from being beat while, he smote and killed the Egyptian and buried him. They had the power to make our lives infinitely worse. And yet and still, our people were so afraid that they said, maybe we should just go back because at least we can live, even if it's this miserable, practically meaningless life of captivity. Go ahead.
Verse 4. Uh-huh. And they said one to another, let us make a captain and let us return into Egypt.
Go ahead.
Then Moses and Aaron fell on their faces before all the assembly of the congregation of the children of Israel.
So they said, maybe we should just go back. Maybe we should just return. Let's drop down to verse 9. We're going to get 9 through 31. It's like most of the chapter.
Verse 9.
Mm-hmm.
Only rebel not ye against the Lord, neither fear ye the people of the land, for they are bread for us. Their defense is departed from them, and the Lord is with us. Fear them not.
So Joshua he was like, look, what are y'all talking about? Back in Egypt? That's crazy. What movie was that? Birth of a Nation. Just talking about that the other day. After they had went and they killed their slave masters and they got into a fight, they had a traitor amongst them that ended up slowing up so much of their progress and getting a lot of them killed. They realized that basically, okay, we did some good, but this is coming to an end. And as they were starting to prepare themselves in their minds, as I'm pretty sure they already were for their deaths, they start to think like, man, we was in slavery still. I'd be like 3-4 rows down with cotton, crackers snapping that whip, threatening me. But he was like, not today. Even though my life may hang in the balance, today I stand on my feet as a man. Today I'm not subservient. Today I'm not a second-class citizen. Today I'm not a slave. That's where we have to get to, because we're going to leave this land. Not only if we believe, but if we're worthy. That's the point that we're getting back to. We can't be so concerned with either fear or doubt when the Most High delivers us, because we already see the things that he's been done and is willing to do. We still to this day commemorate the feasts that our forefathers were delivered. We still to this day celebrate the times that our captivity was reversed. And a lot of our feast days are like that. Passover from Egypt, dedication from the Greeks, Memorial of Simon, same thing. Tabernacle, still a reminder of the time that we dwelt in booths. All these different reminders, remembering year after year, look what the Lord is capable of and how much love and care he has for his people. Go ahead.
Verse 10, but all the congregation bade stone them with stones, and the glory of the Lord appeared in the tabernacle of the congregation before all the children of Israel.
So the Lord came down. After hearing that, that's the thing. The Most High, it's not like he didn't hear this. He saw it the day before. He heard them crying overnight like, damn, for real? Did all that work? did all those things on your behalf? Because it's not like, oh, okay, it's just an immediate thing. We see in the creation, there's steps to it. Let there be light. Okay, now let the firmament be separate. There's work on a level that we can't even comprehend. There's work that has to be done on a spiritual plane for these victories to take place. And that's why we should be grateful for the deliverance that the Lord has already given us and the deliverance he promised us. So he heard the night before how the children of Israel are crying and weeping and, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? Then they like, well, you know what we should do? Moses, you're the one that brought us out. So if we kill them, then there's no one that stands in the way of us returning. And then the Lord was like, okay, I got to come down. What is this? Go ahead.
And the Lord said unto Moses, how long will this people provoke me?
Mm-hmm.
And how long will it be ere that they believe me for all the signs which I have showed among them?
He said, what is this? All the work I just put in and y'all doing this? Go ahead.
I will smite them with the pestilence and the disinherit them, and will make of thee a greater nation and mightier than they.
And the Most High offered Moses, he was like, look, forget them. Me and you, we going places. I could work with you. After 40 years of living like an Egyptian, Moses gets called via the burning bush. And it's oh yeah, I'm ready. He was ready to make the transition. He was ready to put it into action. He was ready to go speak to Pharaoh. Yeah, he had his moment like, but I can't even speak well. Are you, Most High, all right, take Aaron. But you're going to do this. And Moses was so obedient. He said, you know what? You're of such a good stock. If I'm going to start over, but I want to take your stock and I'm going to make the people like you are. And I'm going to just wipe all of them out. And me and you, we're going to start this whole thing over together. Go ahead.
Verse 13, and Moses said unto the Lord, then the Egyptians shall hear it, for thou broughtest up this people in thy might from among them.
Uh-huh.
And they will tell it to the inhabitants of this land. For they have heard that thou art, Slakia. For they have heard that thou, Lord, art among these people, that the Lord art seen face to face, and that they could standeth over them, and that thou goest before them by daytime in a pillar of a cloud, and in a pillar of fire by night. Now if thou shalt kill all these people as one man, then the nations which have heard the fame of thee will speak, saying, because the Lord was not able to bring this people unto the land which he sware unto them, therefore he hath slain them in the wilderness. And now I beseech thee, let the power of my Lord be great, according as thou hast spoken, saying, the Lord is long-suffering, and of great mercy, forgiving iniquity and transgression, and by no means clearing the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generations.
So Moses, in the Lord's anger, he reminded him, but Lord, your name is more valuable than your frustration. And the reality is, if you kill this people and you smite all of them, even though we're worthy, right? All of our people in the wilderness, all of the miracles that we had just seen, and still worry, doubt, and more, it grew into evil suspicion and evil words against the Lord, a hatred and a rebellion against the Lord. And he was like, man, I've showed them all these miracles. I could just get rid of them. And Moses said, but remember, you're known out here. All these other nations, they've heard of the fame. You crippled you crippled the number one nation or the superpower of the earth. All nations have heard about this. All nations have heard of your fame. All nations know who you are. And they know the miracles that you've worked. If you do this, they're going to have bad things to say about you. And so, for his own name's sake, and mind you, the scriptures talk about the Lord being married unto the children of Israel. It's like dealing with a difficult spouse. A spouse that got problems, a spouse that got anxiety, that got fear, that got evil suspicions against you despite your best efforts. And the Lord was like, you know what, I could do away with you, but you know what, I'm going to choose to be blameless. And to this day, this is a story, not only, we always highlight the judgment. Oh, look, the Most High don't need nobody. He got rid of all of our people. But look at also the loyalty he had, because even these people I can almost assure you, I would say, have been regenerated by now. Even they got another chance to get it right. Even they had 40 more years to live, I believe. Yeah, it was 40 years in the wilderness. They had 40 more years to repent and to try and make right for the sins that they have committed. That's a lot of mercy, a lot of long suffering, and a lot of patience in the midst of the turbulent time that we experienced in the wilderness because of our rebellion. Go ahead.
Verse 19, pardon, I beseech thee, the iniquity of these people, according unto the greatness of thy mercy, and as thou hast forgiven these people from Egypt even until now. And the Lord said, I have pardoned according to thy word. But as truly as I live, all the earth shall be filled with the glory of the Lord.
He was like, they going to hear about this one. He said, all right, I'll pardon them. But he was like, yeah, they need to make sure y'all talk about this. Make sure y'all keep this in the forefront of your minds, because I was ready to destroy y'all. That's what the Lord literally just said. He was like, man, y'all better make sure, remember this one. People love being like, oh, I don't want stuff to be, you're not supposed to keep score in a relationship. Sometimes you need to. Because you can convince yourself that a person is ungiving, unloving, impatient, but tally down all the times that you was tripping and your spouse was patient.
Right.
It's quite a few times. And that's the whole thing about a marriage and the covenant that we make is this is an establishment of duty. Sometimes you're going to have bad days. I'm going to be patient. Sometimes I'm going to have bad days. I'm asking for your patience. But we're a team working on this for our namesake, for our nation, for building, and for legacy. And so the Lord said, okay, I'm going to pardon. Make sure that y'all mention this. And then he says, but there will be a judgment. There does have to be some level of something here. Go ahead.
22. Because all those men which have seen my glory and my miracles, which I did in Egypt and in the wilderness, and have tempted me now these 10 times, and have now hearkened unto my voice.
10 times. So the Lord was keeping record. He was like, look, and he didn't even jump at the first time. Despite all of that work, the people had an evil suspicion. They murmured that information. I mean, y'all played telephone before. Probably played with 10, 20 people in school. Not only does a message get misconstrued, how long does it take to travel through 20 people? It takes a little bit of time, right? Now imagine 600,000. They spent that whole night, that whole duration of time after the spies came back and gave us that report. They spent that whole duration of time doubting, fearing, and talking. And the Most High was patient. The Lord was patient. All right, I'm going to let that one go. 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 I'm going to let that one. Okay, that's enough. That's quite a bit. That's why I said sometimes you do need to keep track. Man, I've been tripping for a minute. Oh, hold up. 10. Damn, I didn't even realize it was that. 10? Yes, that's a lot to test and push and tempt. That's in a normal relationship. How much more the Lord? Go ahead.
23. Surely they shall not see the land which I swear unto their fathers, neither shall any of them that provoke me see it. But my servant Caleb, because he had another spirit with him and hath followed me fully, him will I bring into the land whereinto he went, and his seed shall possess it.
Go ahead.
Now the Amalekites and the Canaanites dwell in the valley. Tomorrow turn you and get you into the wilderness by the way of the Red Sea.
So he said the only person that's going to make it is Caleb. And he also says that Joshua, because he had the right spirit as well. But he said that's it. All the rest of y'all, now mind you, the Most High was still so merciful. He said, I'll give it to your children. I'm not done with my people. I'm not done with my nation. I'll even give it to your kids. But all y'all ungrateful asses, I'm not giving you nothing. Go ahead.
And the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, How long shall I bear with this evil congregation, which murmur against me? I have heard the murmurings of the children of Israel, which they murmur against me. Say unto them, As truly as I live, saith the Lord, as ye have spoken in mine ears, so will I do to you.
And that's the crazy part. All that doubt, all that fear, all that murmuring, we sealed our own fate. And it wasn't even like he had to come up with something. He said, you know what? All that you said, all that disrespect, you're right. That's it. I don't have to work something new. There doesn't have to be some brand new. He said, you know what? I'm going to just do to y'all what y'all been saying to me. You keep saying I'm not with you. Okay, you're right. I'm not going to be with you. You keep saying I'm going to let you die in this wilderness. You're absolutely right. You're going to die here. You're not going into this promised land. But you know what I will do? I'll take your kids. The kids and the children and, you know, those that really didn't have a right in what was, or not a right, a say in what was going on. And were just kind of experiencing things as a child. He said, I'll let them in. But the generation that I brought up that's saying, y'all can turn around, get by the Red Sea. We'll start there. Go ahead.
29. Your carcasses shall fall in this wilderness, and all that were numbered of you, according to your whole number, from 20 years old and upward, which have murmured against me. Doubtless ye shall not come into the land concerning which I swear to make you dwell therein, say Caleb the son of Jephunneh, and Joshua the son of Nun.
Mm-hmm.
But your little ones, which ye said should be a prey, them will I bring in, and they shall know the land which ye have despised.
And, Salakia. So here we are, right, 2025. Not only are we concerned with captivity, but a lot of our people would rather have this captivity than freedom. We do have to go to war, but it's a war that's prophesied for us to win. And even if some of us may die, there are going to be I just knowing what we read, I would imagine that there will be judgments. But even then, if you die a righteous death in the path and the pursuit of righteousness and for your nation, are we not guaranteed a crown? So even if they were fearful to go up there and die, oh man, look at these great people. It's like, dude, well, remember, your reward isn't just in this life. There's things you haven't even seen yet. There's things you haven't even experienced. There's things that the scriptures tell us has not even entered into the heart of man. Take your best AI, take your Chat GPT, take your, what's the other one? Something, Open AI. Take your Google and whatever else and it still can't come close to what actually exists and will be given to the righteous in the kingdom of heaven. There's no imagination that can comprehend what there is waiting on the other side. So even if there was a fear of those people because, okay, yeah, we haven't been to war, we've been broken down, we're so mentally destroyed, it's like, dude, remember, there's another life coming. That's going to be infinitely longer than this one, literally. So even if we do die, I'll see you on the other side. And I ain't going to see you on the other side like I saw you here, where we in captivity and I'm working 40 hours, 50 hours, 60 hours a week. And I see you from time to time, stressed, frustrated, and drained, and giving you what I got left. I'll see you on the other side with immortality. I'll see you on the other side in the kingdom which the Most High has prepared since the foundation of the earth. I'll see you on the other side where there will be no more tears. Whether we go up to possess this land or whether some of us, if I die trying to take this land, I'll see you on the other side. What's the concern? But yet and still, our people lost sight of that. Our people lost sight and said, man, it would have just been better for us to just be living as slaves. All the moaning and groaning that our people just did in Egypt. Everybody here, for the most part, I don't know not one Israelite, especially if they're righteous, that's working and busting their behinds. It's like, oh yeah, I wish we had more time to be a captive. I don't know if I want to. Everybody's, oh man, when is it going to happen? When, Lord? When? All right, I got to get myself together. I got to reform my ways, but I'm hoping for this kingdom. That's the hope. That's what pushes you. That's the driving force. It's all going to be worth it one day. It's all going to pay off. It's all going to be over. And our people were right there at the edge of the land and got told to turn around. Let's jump over to chapter 14. Are we in 14?
We're in 14.
Let's go over to chapter 16, Salakia. So, you're dealing with a people who have broken minds, a people who have been pushed and squeezed into being so much lesser than what we actually are. And that is no different than what you see here in America today. That's why this place is called modern Egypt, for all those different reasons. Look at the parallels. Go write it down on a sheet of paper. Write down what you see about Egypt and write down what you see about America, and look how many of them connect. Egypt was known for flexing, vanity, luxury. Oh, what's the common theme in America? Egypt was known for excess. Oh, Egypt was known for having many gods, for having many ideologies. Polytheistic, meaning the belief in multiple gods. Oh, look what's going on in America. Christian, Hindu, Buddhist, Muslim, Catholic. Some with the same books, some with different practices, some serving different gods and different people entirely. And look at how many of our people fall into these things, not knowing that they're Israelites called by the Most High to serve. It's no different. And yet and still, with all of the complaints that our people had, they said, man, you know what? Maybe we should just go back. What a slap to the face. Chapter 16, we're also going to read most of this one. Let's get one, because that's what we're going to talk about. So we're going to start through one. We're going to probably read to about 35. So in the old captivity, or in the old Egypt, I should say, not only were our people experiencing all those things, But you see the disconnect between the faith, right? The disconnect between the people and the Most High. And it's crazy because you got Israelites today that literally are promoting these things. It's Israelites that have music, fear of faith. I have a fear of being faithful. Why would I give this all up? Why would I change? How is this not heaven? I'm out here living sinful. Straight up will tell you. And it's like, dude, you're why we're here. Every person that has died that's an Israelite, you are partially responsible. Because instead of using your influence, your voice, your music, your platform to raise up the tribes, you sit up here promoting the BS. And I'm putting it kindly. You promoting the same BS that not only Babylon and Egypt is teaching our people, but that the same thing that got us here and continues to destroy our minds. Call yourself an Israelite. Call yourself a leader. Let's read.
This is Numbers chapter 16 and verse 1. Now Korah, the son of Izhar, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi, and Dathan.
Oh, my bad. We could drop down to verse 2. So those are all the names of, but mind you, these are the rebels. They get mentioned, but this ain't the type of mention I want. And I know anyone who's here, this is not the type, anyone who's willing to be righteous and desires to serve the Most High, this ain't the type of mention you want. That ain't an honorable mention, because you're about to see why these men are written down and what their legacy is. Go ahead.
Verse 2, and they rose up before Moses with certain of the children of Israel, 250 princes of the assembly, famous in the congregation, men of renown. And they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron.
Against Moses and Aaron. So they didn't rise up and say, hey, it's 250 of us. Send us into the land, or, tell us what to say. Or, hey, you know what, Moses? You're the same Moses that was walking in and out before Pharaoh himself, telling him telling him what the Lord has said, right? You clearly have something to offer. Tell us what we should do. We're 250 men we're reputables. We can influence the people. We can turn the people's minds back to the Lord. Nah, they gathered themselves and were against Moses and Aaron. Against the man that the Lord chose. Against the man that the Lord used and imbued with power. I always mess that word up. That gave power to be able to put his hand into his bosom and change the melanin in his skin, that can throw his staff on the ground and create a snake, but was also able to call plagues. Most of the time, just to show how much the Lord was dealing with Moses, he said, Moses, go out there in the sight of all the people, lift your hands up. And when you lift your hands up, the plague is going to start. So the people have been able to see for quite some time, oh man, that's the guy. That's him. If the Lord dealing with anybody, we've seen however many times through these plagues and these deliverances, that's the guy that the Lord is using to deliver us. And the same man that the Lord commanded to raise his hand to part the sea is the same man that they now come in, and it's 250 of them. It ain't like a couple people that was just tripping in a moment. They gathered a gang of people together. Why the men of renown instead of the everyday average man? Because they're looking for the men that have influence. They're looking to multiply themselves against Moses. Let's read.
And they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron, and said unto them, Ye take too much upon you, seeing all the congregation are holy, every one of them, and the Lord is among them. Wherefore then lift ye up yourselves above the congregation of the Lord?
And they said, why are you guys the ones that are above? I'm a grown man. Ain't nobody above me. You're not going to lead me. You're not going to tell me what to do.
We're all holy.
Right, we're all holy. Yeah, to an extent. To an extent. But for the most part, most of our people usually do wrong. And that's been a consistent theme. Most of our people go bad. Like spoiled fruit, all in the same basket. So they said, why are you taking on so much upon you? Right? Go ahead.
And when Moses heard it, he fell upon his face.
And Moses had every right to start swinging. Oh, 250 of y'all, 2 of us. Okay, he had every right to pull out the sword and start slashing, but instead he humbled himself and bowed before all of them because he knew it ain't me that you're speaking against, and it ain't me that you got to deal with. Go ahead.
And he spake unto Korah and unto all his company, saying, even tomorrow the Lord will shew who are his and who is holy, and will cause him to come near unto him. Even him whom he hath chosen will he cause to come near unto him. Mm-hmm. Do this, take you censers, Korah, and all his company, and put fire therein, and put incense in them before the Lord tomorrow. And it shall be that the man whom the Lord doth choose, he shall be holy. Take ye too much upon you, ye sons of Levi.
So he like, oh no, you taking too much upon you. Go ahead.
And Moses said unto Korah, hear, I pray you, ye sons of Levi. Seemeth it but a small thing unto you that the God of Israel hath separated you from the congregation of Israel to bring you near to himself, to do the service of the tabernacle of the Lord, and to stand before the congregation to minister unto them? And he hath brought thee near to him, and all thy brethren, the sons of Levi, with thee. And seek ye the priesthood also, for which cause both thou and all thy company are gathered together against the Lord. And what is Aaron, that ye murmur against him?
So first Moses said, okay, well, let's put what you said to the test. Bring your incense tomorrow, the Lord will show you who's his. But then he reasoned with them, because he easily could have been like, I already know the Most High finna kill y'all, finna put y'all to death. But he still tried to exercise wisdom, patience, long-suffering, and mercy and say, hey, look, let me just ask you a question. Do y'all think it's like a nothing kind of situation that the Lord has separated you? Because not only did he just deliver all of Israel, showed how holy the entire nation of Israel is, but out of the 12 tribes, you're even more holy than the average Israelite, which is already better than all of the other nations combined. And this is just you don't value that? Moses still trying to appeal to him and give him one last chance. Go ahead.
And Moses sent to call Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, which said, we will not come up. Is it a small thing that thou hast brought us up out of the land that floweth with milk and honey to kill us in the wilderness?
So now, Salakia, they saying Egypt is the land that floweth with milk and honey. Look how quickly and how horribly the people's hearts are turned against the Lord. You took us out of the land that floweth with milk and honey. Basically, we was good where we was at. We was better off there. And matter of fact, now that I look back, it wasn't even that bad. What? They was literally, I'm talking about like ball and chain slavery, getting whipped slavery, getting beaten slavery. And the task that they were given, they was like, we can't even let them have too much free time, so make it even harder on them and don't reduce the expectation. You're talking about real slavery. Now, if your resources get reduced but your expectation goes up, you're more prone to not succeed. And you're more prone to get lashes, get whooped, get sold, get beaten, have people taken from you. You know the Egyptians, they was dealing with us like property. We were their property. So if you got a slave that's rebellious and, man, I just can't do what you asking me to do, well, you know what? If you don't meet the quota by the end of the week, I'm selling your wife and your kids. Choice is yours. Jesus. Good Lord. I can't even imagine if I was in a circumstance to where I had to answer to a man, not even of my nation, and he tells me, you got until the end of the week to make these bricks. I'm not helping you out. And if you can't succeed, I'm selling your wife and kids. I'm selling or whatever. And they saying we want to go back to those conditions because what we really don't want is to have a leader over us and have to serve the Lord if it's uncomfortable. It's like, dude, if you really think about it, take a step back for a moment. It's like, well, were they really even kingdom worthy outside of the war? If you didn't accept Moses being over you, were you really going to accept Christ? If you are rebellious and you refuse to see a man give you any type of instruction, what's the plan when you get into the kingdom? Our kingdom's not a democracy. It's not even an oligarchy. It's what is it called? A monarchy. There's one king that says what goes and what doesn't in the confines of the entirety of the kingdom. So if you can't handle Moses doing this, and mind you, you just saw all the miracles he was able to do, are you fit for the next step? They said, you didn't even bring, Salakia, verse 13, it says, do you think it's a small thing that you had brought us up out of the land that floweth with milk and honey? Go ahead.
To kill us in the wilderness, except thou make thyself altogether a prince over us?
What? After everything Moses went through and did for the people and how much of himself he gave, they trying to call him power hungry? You just did all this. So you telling me Moses put his hands up and lice came into the land. Moses put his hands up and the Egyptians started growing boils. The sun went dark. Locusts, frogs, flies, the death of the firstborn, the parting of the Red Sea. You telling me he did all that just because he was power hungry? Look at the power he already had. It don't even make sense. He didn't have power amongst men. He had power amongst God and man. And they like, oh, you power hungry. You just brought us out here because you just wanted to be able to lord over us yourself. Mind you, what did Moses tell them that was evil? What did he make them do? He didn't say first things first. You're making a statue of me over there. Then you're going to build me an enormous house. I need at least like 40, 50 bedrooms. I need all the beautiful women amongst you that are unmarried because, I got to get mine. Moses wasn't even like that. So where is that coming from? And they all got to see it for themselves. It wasn't like somebody was misinformed. They all knew who Moses was. Go ahead.
Moreover, thou hast not brought us into the land that floweth with milk and honey, or given us inheritance of fields and vineyards. Wilt thou put out the eyes of these men? We will not come up.
And then they said, and you didn't even bring us to a land that floweth with milk and honey. It's like they did. Mind you, the Lord came down. Now, I'm pretty sure he came down. Well, I would say he came down in the cloud that he usually would, but the scriptures don't even say that. It said he came down. So I'm pretty sure they saw some level of semblance of the Lord. Probably with his back turned the same way that he spoke to Moses, but he appeared physically and was like, this what y'all doing? Gave them the sentence. All of y'all that was doubtful, you're all going to die. I'm not bringing you into the land. Only your children are going to possess it. And just that fast, what is this, like the next day they coming against Moses? What are you niggas talking about? How? Go ahead.
And Moses was very wroth, and said unto the Lord, Respect not thou their offering. I have not taken one ass from them, neither have I hurt one of them.
Let's drop down to... Okay, so let's drop down to verse 19. So all the men that was basically challenging Moses, they showed up. They had a night to think about it. They had a night to sleep on it. Just like the wicked usually do, they probably gathered together, continued to murmur, get more and more confident in their stupidity, and then the next morning they got their incense. Mind you, you're not willing to listen to Moses when it comes to righteousness, but you're willing to listen to him when it comes down to the bed of pride to see if you're going to be accepted. I ain't even had a chance to speak with the Lord to see what he thinks about all this. Was just challenging Moses. But they showed up for this and obeyed him for this. Go ahead.
Verse 19, and Korah gathered all the congregation against them unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And the glory of the Lord appeared unto all the congregation. And the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, Separate yourselves from among these congregation, that I may consume them in a moment.
So the Lord was like, look, I'm so sick of them. I'm not even going to do my, usual, like the slow kill. I'm not going to send, these other alternative methods. He said, just move out the way and I can kill them all at once. And it could be like, boom, it'll be that easy. Just get out of there. What did he say? He said that to Moses and Aaron. He said, you and your brother, just leave. And I can kill them all and we could do what I talked about. Go ahead.
And they fell on their faces and said, O God, the God of the spirits of all flesh, shall one man sin, and wilt thou be wroth with all the congregation?
And thank God, literally, that Moses was as humble as he was and invested in the Most High's and the Lord's well-being, so to speak, concerned about his name and able to be a mediator and to, what is it called? Like when you're like a liaison. What do? They're not negotiating, but basically he's working. He's mediating between the Lord and the people, and was able to talk the Lord down on the punishments. Because otherwise, there wouldn't even. More than likely, it would have been a whole new nation, or maybe it would have been the children of Israel. But instead of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, it would have been Moses and Aaron. Our forefathers, Moses and Aaron, and that would have been where it all started, right? So he decided to advocate for the same niggas that were just saying, who made you a prince? Advocating for the same ones that just showed up at his doorstep to challenge him and to say that, you power hungry, you just trying to make us, you just want us to be your servants. Go ahead.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the congregation, saying, Get you up from about the tabernacle of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. And Moses rose up and went unto Dathan and Abiram, and to the elders of Israel, and the elders of Israel followed him. And he spake unto the congregation, saying, Depart, I pray you, from the tents of these wicked men, and touch nothing of theirs, lest ye be consumed in all their sins. So they gat up from the tabernacle of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram on every side. And Dathan and Abiram came out and stood in the door of their tents, and their wives and their sons and their little children.
And that's the crazy part. It wasn't like all the children of Israel had a problem and wanted to directly be challenge Moses. It's hardly ever that way. We see all these superhero movies and stories and all this stuff, and it's like, dude, Esau takes these stories and just replicates them with their own names and their own heroes and, powers. But the reality is, whenever you watch those superhero movies, you play those games, you look into that stuff, you'll always see it's mimicking this. And the number one way that it does that is you can see that the wicked are always going to outnumber the righteous. You got one Spider-Man, but how many villains does he have? Doc Ock and the Scorpion and the Lizard and the Abomination. Ain't that the big guy? What's the other one? The Penguin and it's like, damn. You got one Batman and he got the Riddler and he got all the people that's against him. You got all these criminals and one hero. It's always like that. So it's the same thing here. You got one Aaron and one Moses, but you got 250 men who are trying to spread the wickedness that was within them amongst the congregation of Israel. And you see right here in the details, when Moses went and told the congregation, hey, get away from these men. They wasn't like, oh, so you can be a prince. They was like, oh, yeah, okay, we'll obey you, Moses. Most of the people were obedient. But you know what happened? They had bad influences amongst them. So you got your two heroes, right? But then you got your Doc Ocks. You got your lizards and your abominations and you got all those criminals and all the supervillains amongst the children of Israel that had such a deep influence that even though the people were willing to be obedient unto Moses and Aaron and had even seen all that they had seen, they were able to sway the people. Right? So they came out and they watching, right? Let's pick up at verse 29.
If these men die, the common death of all men, or if they be visited after the visitation of all men, then the Lord hath not sent me.
So he said, look, if these men live long lives and die under natural causes, complications of life and all that, he said, then the Lord hasn't sent me. But, go ahead.
But if the Lord make a new thing, and the earth open her mouth and swallow them up with all that appertain unto them, and they go down quick into the pit, then ye shall understand that these men have provoked the Lord.
Go ahead.
And it came to pass, as he had made an end of speaking all of these words, that the ground clave asunder that was under them. And the earth opened her mouth and swallowed them up, and their houses, and all the men that appertained unto Korah, and all their goods. They and all that appertained unto them went down alive into the pit, and the earth closed upon them, and they perished from among the congregation.
And now let's jump up to verse 27. Look who all was there, though. It said they got up from the tabernacle of Korah, Dathan and Abiram on every side, and Dathan and Abiram came out and stood in the door of their tents, and their wives, and their sons, and their little children. You had a gang of people, so it's not just these wicked men, but think about it. As the leader of the people, so are the people, right? That's paraphrased. But the whole thing is that influence spreads. So if you got children that's growing up with a father that says, man, ain't nobody ruling over me, what do you think his son's going to feel? Ain't nobody ruling over me. If you got wives that hear, oh, he said he could do whatever what do you think she's going to think? Probably if she has some sense of righteousness, probably within the confines of her husband, but more than likely she's going to be, the puppet master behind the scenes pulling strings to get their husband to get more power, because that gives her more power. You have a whole household on a united front in wickedness. And it's only a matter of time before those children grow up, and they're not going to be kids forever. And then they men that's standing against Moses and against Aaron. And more than likely, what would have happened was Joshua was going to have to deal with the sons of Korah and Abiram. So instead, the Lord said, okay, these are some of let's just get rid of them. Let's drop down. Let's drop down to verse 41.
But on the morrow, all the congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and against Aaron, saying, ye have killed the people of the Lord.
Oh my goodness. Now I wrote this down because I wanted to read about this. I said this is one of the most frustrating things to experience. You ever had somebody that believes you're both the best and worst thing at the same time? Or it might just be, so as an Israelite in America, you might have just experienced worse most of the time, but you've actually experienced both, whether you realize it, and here's how. If you got somebody that wants to hold you accountable, suddenly they make you they put you on a pedestal. You should be X, Y, and Z. No excuse, no room, no mercy, no grace. And I'm not talking about for sins worthy of death, wickedness, and patterns of evil. I'm talking about maybe just on a personal level, a personal offense. They just, man, you should be able to, and you should. And it's like, okay. But then when all right, well, if I'm at that level, then let me start moving at that level. Then they're like, well, who you think you are?
Right.
You both the best and the worst thing at the same time. When it's time to hold you accountable, you're Superman. But when it's time for you to exercise your authority, you ain't nothing. It says believing someone is simultaneously the best and the worst is a psychological phenomenon called splitting. It is also known as dichotomous thinking or black and white thinking, where a person is unable to reconcile both positive and negative qualities into a single cohesive view. So when I'm frustrated, then you're just so much, you're so amazing, so incredible, so above. There's nothing I can do. People come the victim mindset. Oh, there's just nothing I can do. Oh, there's just no way I can talk. It's just my opinion's not valuable. I just basically shouldn't say anything. Then roll with that. I don't get it. if you're so little and so nothing and so, then roll with that, and you should have no problem being absolutely small and submissive and in line with everything that the Lord says, because you ain't nothing. But when you hear those directives and you get those instructions and you're given those assignments, now all of a sudden, that person don't have the right to tell you what to do. And it's the black and the white over and over. Like flipping a pancake that's burnt on one side and raw on the other side, and it never fully cooks. The side that's burnt going to be burnt forever, and the side that's raw is just going to be raw forever. There's no reconciling in someone who has already made that decision in their mind that there's good and bad within you, or maybe there's just things that they may not agree with, but you're still righteous. They're not going to see that. They're not going to believe it. You either have to be the bad guy or you have to be an angel, and there's no in between. So mind you, Korah and Dathan, they had already been amongst the people. I don't know, were these, just out of my own curiosity, were these part of the spies that had gone back? Do I see the name of Korah? I don't think so. Let me see. Shemua of Reuben, Shaphat of Simeon, Caleb of Judah, Igal of Issachar, Oshea of Ephraim, Palti of Benjamin, Gideal of Zebulun, Joseph of Manasseh, Dan, Amiel of Dan, Sethur of Asher. So no, they weren't even the spies. But they had influence, and they utilized it for evil and convinced the people to rebel against Moses. In so much that when Moses had them, not even Moses, when the Lord rightfully so put them to death because they were enemies of progress, the people's minds were already deceived. The people's minds were already pulled and conflicted, in so much that now they're taking up their cause. You think Moses, once again, which one is he? Is he a savior, or is he evil? Is he a god, or is he vain? Which one is he? How is he both? The Lord utilized him to perform miracles, utilized him to split the sea, and then utilized him to deliver judgment unto the wicked. Yet and still, they're like, nah, you trying to. So look what the people were saying now. Where were we?
But on the morrow, verse 41, but on the morrow, all of the congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and against Aaron, saying, ye have killed the people of the Lord.
So which one is it? Did he do this all of his own accord or not? Go ahead.
And it came to pass when the congregation was gathered against Moses and against Aaron, that they looked toward the tabernacle of the congregation, and behold, the cloud covered it, and the glory of the Lord appeared. And Moses and Aaron came before the tabernacle of the congregation. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, get you up from among this congregation, that I may consume them as in a moment. And they fell upon their faces.
And that's the crazy part. The Most High, the Lord was hearing all of this every single time. Now we understand this is Yahweh Shai. The Lord was hearing all of it every single time. And this is what, the third time in like 2 chapters. Yeah. He like, oh my God, I'm so tired of dealing with these people.
Just get out the way.
Get out the way. And this is the only time you ever read that that Moses or Aaron didn't immediately obey the Lord, because they trying to appease the Lord to have mercy upon the people. Lord, please, just give us a little bit more time. Lord, please, we'll figure it out. Lord, please, just like, good Lord. And the Lord appeared again, and he like, damn, they really still don't get it? It ain't him. It's not him. Didn't the Lord appear the day before this when all these rebels came up, and he came down and was like, oh, this what y'all on? They're like, Moses, did you just not see the Lord come down? Did you just not see the day before that when we murmured and we were at the edge of the land that he came down? Did you not see the day before that when we were actually delivered, or however long? Well, no, I think it was only like 2 or 3 days that they walked in the wilderness, right? Just a few days. We just crossed the Red Sea, bro. This is like all within a time frame of a week. Within a week, you have the deliverance out of Egypt, the parting of the Red Sea, the crossing of the Red Sea, and the rebellion. all within like the time frame of a week. These is the next day, and then on the morrow. Like what? It's like man, if we seen all this stuff on what's today, Thursday? That's like if we seen all this stuff last Friday, and people is acting like this today. It's only Thursday. It ain't been no long span of time.
Weeks be feeling kind of this. Felt like
No, hey, look.
No, you're right.
I was about to say that, and man. He said, and keep in mind, they was free for this week. So it wasn't the captivity.
Right.
It wasn't the captivity and the hardship. They was low-key just able to chill for like a week. And it was like, as soon as you get eating freedom, what they gonna do? They rebelling. They sitting around ruminating on problems, creating scenarios. Like, bro, you just got freed. They already. Wait, we should just go back to Egypt. Mind you, how is Egypt going to treat our people if we would have?
I don't understand how you see the glory of the Lord, and then the very next day, bro, you back on it
3 times.
Right.
And that's the whole thing. We are in a space with the Lord now where we're removed from our land, in captivity, close to deliverance, but haven't been delivered yet. And so we don't have the glory of the Lord directly descending right where all of us can see, in a face and lightnings and a voice coming out that 600,000 people can hear. We have the word and faith and are instructed to get a more sound connection with the Spirit. But they were seeing it. They didn't have to guess. They didn't have to say, oh, man, I wonder. We have those conversations now. Oh, I wonder what it looked like. I wonder what it looked like to see all the Philistines in that field and Goliath coming out to present himself every day, and then King David smites him with a stone. Like, our people, this is, those are things people got to see that we only read about. Reading about the plagues. Reading about the curses. Well, not the curses. We see that. But reading about the miracles. They got to see it with their own eyes, and within a day or two, it was just BS after BS. Was that where?
We're at 46.
Let's read down to let's read down to 50, and then we're gonna get one more, and then we're done.
And Moses said unto Aaron, take a censer and put fire therein from off the altar, and put on incense, and go quickly into the congregation, and make an atonement for them. For there is wrath gone out from the Lord. The plague is begun.
Whew. Go ahead.
And Aaron took as Moses commanded, and ran unto the midst of the congregation, and behold, the plague was begun among the people. And he put on incense, and made an atonement for the people. And he stood between the dead and the living, and the plague was stayed.
And to me, as we read this, I just realized the mercy of the Most High yet again. Because not only, for one, he could have just been like, y'all just need to be obedient. That's all you can do. And if you don't do that, I'll kill you. He gave us stuff he likes. To be able to utilize in times of need to get some mercy. That's like giving somebody money, like, hey, when the time's right, get that back.
Right.
I gave you the money, so clearly I can do this for myself, and you giving me my own money, so what you offering really ain't, like, how significant is it? And he still accepted it, and accepted that atonement. And I bet you it's not, well, not even I bet you, we know it's not because the children of Israel were just so worthy of that deliverance, but because Moses had already said, don't kill all this people, because then you're going to damage your name. And please, Lord, have mercy upon this people. And Moses wasn't even in it for himself, because he could have easily been like, yeah, you know what? They was going to kill me. They literally was grabbing stones. Could you imagine? I mean, I don't even imagine just 10 people grabbing just whatever they can find. Like, we're going to beat you to death. Now imagine, I can't even imagine, but imagine 600,000. And that was, the Apocrypha tells us that was men besides women and children. They picking up rocks, sticks, whatever they can to grab, and they was just finna kill Moses. So Moses had every right to be like, man, these are the same people that was finna kill me last week, 4 or 5 days ago. Take them.
Let me get out of your way. Go ahead.
Right. let me just get, like he told him to. He said, get away from it. It wasn't like Moses was like, he ended up, taking a camel, a horse, a goat, riding out somewhere and being like, Lord, I don't know what to do with this people. The Lord told Moses, get away from them so I can kill them. Just make it easier.
That's love.
Yeah. And then it's the same Moses that realizes all the people, because he got the word, the plague has begun. So Moses told Aaron, oh, go. And the same people that the children of Israel were just getting ready to stone to death just a few days prior is the same one that's running in the midst of them to deliver them from destruction. And for all of that, they gave Moses hell. For all of that, they rebelled. Tried to kill him on multiple occasions. Just made every bit of what he was called to do difficult. And when it came down to it, he was still willing to not bolster himself into being the nation of Israel. Still was willing to, like, to a certain extent, a level of danger. Because the Lord said, oh, just separate yourself. And he's like, Lord, but please, what if, like, he put himself at risk just doing that? Yeah. That's a risk. You can't just, man, maybe a lot of us haven't dealt with, like, real scary authorities and, like, real law of the jungle situations. If you're dealing with someone that has that type of power and they tell you what to do, most people are just going to jump, especially if it benefits them. But Moses took the risk and said, Lord, please, don't consume this people. Think about your own name. And for all that, look what they gave to Moses. Hatred, trying to kill him, rebellion. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 20. So this is all in the wilderness. That I haven't heard that in a little while, but it's also because I really don't desire to be in the spaces where I hear a lot of BS and false doctrines and stuff, unless I'm trying to win a soul. I'm not interested in talking to somebody that knows better but don't care and got their mind made up. But if there's someone in the midst of that's listening and is kind of trying to figure out who to listen to, then I'll be like, okay, I will. Then we get into these scriptures and defend the gospel, right? There's a doctrine in Israel that, the wilderness, we going back into the wilderness. We don't have to get it right because we'll go back into the wilderness. I'm trying to prepare for the wilderness. It's like, dude, first off, what the children of Israel needed, the Lord provided. He made it rain bread. He made it rain food. Look, there's another movie example, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. This amazing man with his strange hair creates this thing that goes up into heaven and makes it rain food. Is that not inspired by the story that we see where it rained food for our people? All these things that are happening, and we're like, we got to go back. We're going back. But let's read 20 and 35, Ezekiel.
Ezekiel chapter 20 and verse 35.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let's jump up to 34.
And I will bring you out from the people, and I will gather you out of the countries wherein ye are scattered, with a mighty hand, and with a stretched out arm, and with a fury poured out. And I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face.
So this is the crazy part. He said the wilderness of the people. The wilderness we think of, it's just me, we're so secluded, we're in the woods, and I need all this stuff. That's not really the dangerous wilderness, because by the time we get to that point when the Lord is dealing with us, our needs were provided. Moses smote a rock, and water came out of nowhere. If you can create water sources on command, then what concern is there as far as your livelihood, your agriculture, your livestock, your children, your plants? What concern is there if you can create water sources on command? They were in a desert. They were in a desert. And the Lord said, go smite that rock. Like, for lack of course, the Lord has so much couth, well-spoken, and in his wisdom has already thought out these things. And it's incredible to read about them. But for the sake of thinking like a man, it's like, hey, Moses, watch this. Like I could do, hey, watch what I'm finna do. You see that rock out there? They want water, right? Go smite that rock. Walk up in front of everybody, hit that rock, and watch how that. And you can go research to this day where they found a rock that has water erosion lines in the middle of the desert. That's like a perfect split, and they're like, this is where it happened. This is the rock that Moses smote. He can create water sources on command, but then he also can make it rain food. What's the concern? The real trial is not when we're out on our own and we're able to govern ourselves as a nation. Even though that was a part of the trial, the real trial is what the children of Israel brought with them into that wilderness. It wasn't that they couldn't be delivered. It wasn't that we couldn't be delivered and that we can't be delivered. It's about where our minds were and where our spirits were after being in that captivity, being so disconnected from the Lord that we were even bold enough to rebel against him. And that's the same thing that you see today when we have Israelites that are so anti-camp, despite the fact that you see it all through the Bible, this stress on community. And Christ taking 12, even though he could have did it all himself. You see people who are anti-Christ, wicked and bold in their deceits, and they got to teach everybody. And that's the part that's, again, the supervillains. The supervillains, you ever seen a Joker without a henchman? Ain't the supervillains known for having henchmen? They ain't out there just doing it all for themselves. They got their minions going to do it. And usually they show up for like grand finale big moments, but most of the damage that gets done is the minions. I think, what was it, the Dark Knight Rises, where Joker was in that nurse outfit and he blew up the hospital? He didn't plant the bombs. No. The henchmen went in there and they did all the damage and put everything in a position, so where all Joker had to do was push a button. So the wicked are the same way to this day. They rile the people up. They get into the people's minds. They start spreading their lies, their heresies, their damnable doctrines. And it's even worse because now they ain't even got to go amongst the people and try to be circumspect with how they move to spread the doctrine without getting too much attention from Moses. They can get on Facebook. Them niggas ain't strong enough to go with me. Ain't no Jesus Christ. It's only the Lord. And oh, it ain't even as hard as it used to be for y'all. It ain't even as hard to lead people to hell as it used to be. Because now all you got to do is make some compelling posts online, and you get a lot of people deceived, not even realizing that the argument, the debate, the points, the information that's being presented is to convince them unto life or death. All these conversations that are being had, these Facebook posts that are being made, how the wicked are trying to gather their henchmen, the prize is your soul. That's what's really on the line. It's our soul. The wilderness of the people is right now. We're being tested right now. We're amongst all these people, all these doctrines, religions, beliefs, and you think when you come into the truth, okay, cool, now it's all clean, and then you like, damn, it's almost worse of a wilderness right here than it is out there, because then you got all these Israelites, and these are the ones that know they Israel. They can't stand that. They can't stand having a leader over them. They can't stand righteousness. They can't stand having to submit to an extent, because was Moses the type of leader that was making people kiss his feet? Mm-mm. And if you ask me, he was worthy. He the only one that the Lord was dealing with on that level. You worthy to have your feet kissed, your feet rubbed, you serviced. And instead, he was giving as much as he could to the people. We in that wilderness now. It's not that we have all this time to BS and try to figure our lives out and do all this different stuff. We're in the wilderness being tested right now, whether or not we're going to keep the Lord's commandments or no. We're in that same circumstance, and you see all these wicked people that will come against someone trying to unite the people, that will come against someone that's trying to be blameless, that come against anyone that the Lord is dealing with, especially the one. You see them same spirits back. in the wilderness of the people, swaying the minds of the people, trying to call them to hell, calling them to destruction by way of idea, by way of compelling argument, by way of charisma, by way of vanity. All these so-called leaders, most of these, it's only one dude that I know, and there might be others, but it's only one Jake I know in Israel that's keeping the commandments, seems to be righteous, and has his finances together, and is saying, come one, come all, I'm trying to build the nation. I'm giving everything I know to Israel. I've only seen one that's like on a big level with a platform, with a website, like with all these things established, trying to help. Most of these so-called leaders, they got all this money, and what they doing for the people? Man, God forbid I'm going through it at home and I just need to be able to go somewhere to hang out with Jakes. Them Jakes don't even have a school. You online only with your ministry. Where are the people supposed to gather? Because that's what the Bible talks about all the time. Gather, 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 gather. The assembly, the congregation, the gathering of the people. Gather together, ye nation that is not desired, not for the better, but for the worse. Over and over, it's talking about gather, 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 gather. And all these wicked leaders, or I don't even call them leaders, all these wicked influencers, they going to flash their Rolex. They going to flash they chain and, oh, look at all the stuff that I got. Teaching that godliness is gain. They don't want nothing to do with no righteous building. They don't want nothing to do with upholding the covenant we made with our God.
Nothing to do with righteous judgment.
Nothing to do with righteous judgment. They don't want nothing to do with having a leader. And then them same dudes talk about the kingdom, and it's like, what do you think that kingdom is going to be? There's going to be one righteous leader that's going to govern all the people. So if you can't listen to Moses, you can't listen to the other ones that were sent to deliver our people, what makes you think you're just going to suddenly be chosen and worthy to be dealing on that level with Christ? If you even believe in him. But I can tell you he's coming. I can guarantee you. I can bet everything I have and everything I will have to the fact that Yahweh Shai is coming back. And the war that's right now, in this wilderness that's right now, is the war for your soul. All praises to the Most High. So that's it from us tonight. I hope this has been edifying. I didn't go too heavy into the doctrine because I wanted to draw the parallels, but we are in the wilderness. It's not like this is just the grace period before the grace period. We're going to have yet another time. This is where it's time to get it right here and now. After this is deliverance, and it's not going to be the way it was before, where there's going to be naysaying and doubt and disrespect and murmuring. It's going to be those that are ready to come and serve the Lord and those that were left. And that's it. All praise to the Most High. Shalom, Israel.
Shalom.
If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'd be.
Mr. Wilson would've known.
Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me.
So good to me.
Yeah. Wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yahweh's been good to me.
So good to me.
Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me cause I'm on a mission. Talking sheep, I pay the cost, me and my lines really live it. I don't need no glory, you don't have to know my story. Glad I'm